It's the Foreheads. It's the Foreheads. We're in our rooms and we're talking about AI.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the greatest disaster on the internet. It's the Foreheads Podcast. I'm Golden Boy. You got Sideshow. You have Brent. You have Reinforce. And we are going to talk about some crap today. What? I don't know. We just made the show 5 minutes ago. So we'll see what happens. Make sure you give us a follow on Spotify. You can rate and review on Apple Podcasts. And speaking of reviews, someone was really adamant that we read their review today. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. It's from The Average Gandhi. And it's a Pepega lifesaver. It said, who would have thought that three esports personalities and Johnny talking about bee farms, Tesco, and poop stories could be so ... stupid. It's like those movies or TV shows that are so incredibly bad that people love them and they become a cult classic. But in all honesty, this podcast has actually been a lifesaver. In fall of 2019, I was going through a real hard time when I felt really alone and depressed, and this podcast changed just that. Just listening to it made me actually laugh out loud during times I found it very hard to crack the slightest smile. You guys are awesome, and even if you don't have that big of a reach, just know you have made an enormous impact on at least one life in the world, that being me. I hope you guys keep doing what you do and keep inspiring and talk about Pepega stuff. 5 stars.
That's very sweet.
That actually turned out better than I thought. I mean, he did burn Johnny. But Average Gandhi, hope everything's going well, and thank you so much for leaving a review. If you like to leave a review, we can read it and react to it.
That actually reminds me.
Imagine how much depression we could save if we were actually good at our jobs. Like we saved one guy, that's cool, but you know, I feel like our upper limit is not. We can do better than that.
Right, you want to cure depression with the Foreheads.
Yeah, I'm just baffled that we've actually done enough so far.
Like, bro, I ain't no therapist.
Johnny, why are you slouching your chair?
Because I just slammed a bowl of granola, yogurt, and fruit, and I got I don't get sugar rushes. I get sugar sleepies.
Yeah.
And I'm just going live with Foreheads, ready for bed. And I'm going to go get a coffee right now.
That review,
oh my God.
That review reminded me of when me, Bren, and Johnny did a precursor podcast to the Foreheads in our apartment, where when we were living together in 2018, we decided just to record a conversation that we were having. And it got so dark so quickly. It was the opposite of the Foreheads, honestly. Where this is nice and lighthearted, dude, it got so real so fast. We were talking about some deep shit super early on.
I'm here to counterbalance your darkest thoughts and desires. You know, that's what it is. And Johnny's making coffee for our audio listeners.
Why is that though? Is it because you've had no hardship in your life?
No, because I'm just a kind, loving soul and spirit.
You big yourself up from the Bronx,
and I'm just
middle class, living with a silver spoon in your mouth.
No, I think it's partly to do with my fame, but it's also it's also just my good, gentled soul and spirit. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So for our audio listeners, Johnny's back after getting up rudely to make coffee. Did you at least make a good coffee?
Are my lips very pink?
Yeah.
No, you're white.
Sure. Sure.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what happened today with me.
Sorry.
I was so frustrated, I'm telling you, because I bought these avocados, right? The reason this popped into my head is because I just said you were middle class. You're not middle class, Golden Boy.
I am middle class.
Well, he is now.
But you weren't raised. Me and you, we were raised in the projects. Let's be real.
It's not top tier. Let's be real.
Fair enough.
Were you raised in the projects? I don't think so.
I live near the projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the point still stands. Anyway, I was just thinking today. I was in the kitchen, and I was trying to make a bagel after we recorded Plat Chat. I was in there, and I wanted to make a bagel with avocado and cream cheese. And I tried to cut into the avocado like I see the sandwich people do. I've done it 1,000 times.
Sorry, who are the
Very
sandwich people?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Are they?
Huh?
You don't make your own sandwiches anymore?
No. When we used to work at the Blizzard Arena, I used to buy a sandwich for lunch.
Right.
Okay, but that's like an oddly specific thing. You mean like the Subway people that would cut the
avocado
slices?
Just
and
like
peel
they're
it out?
very skilled people with the knives.
Okay.
So they're very good with the knives, and because avocados, a lot of people don't really know the best way to work with avocados.
Sure,
right,
you teach the viewers. Teach the audio listeners out there.
I get a big fucking knife, and I hold the avocado like this, and I fucking slam it into my hand.
That seems
because
dangerous.
I have faith that the pip will stop the blade, and it's that kind of faith that keeps you going in life. The willingness to take risks, knowing that if there isn't a pip in that avocado, I will lose my hand. And on a day-to-day basis, I make those risks. I take those risks. So I slam it down, and the pip always stops the blade.
Okay.
And then once it stops the blade.
We have the same mic. How does your mic sound so bad?
I don't know.
I am using I'm not using really a mixer. I need to get the Go XLR. So it has built-in compression.
So what happened when what happened with the avocado?
The knife goes in, and you rotate it around, so you get a perfectly rotated cut, and then you take it in two hands, and you split it opposite ways, and then you end up with one half without the pit, one half with the pit. Then you take your big knife, you smack it down on the pip again, so it gets lodged, and you go and unlock it, and then that's it. Now you've got that. Then you slice it up into halves, and you peel off the skin. That's what I normally do. This morning, I was in the kitchen. I had my avocado.
Slice his hand off. Off.
I went for the knife method. Didn't work. I was like, what is this? Tried it again. Didn't work. Eventually had to fucking saw through this avocado. Sawing through it in the kitchen. I finally open it up. And what I discover is I have gone through the pip because it is so not ripe. What is the opposite of ripe?
Young, new, fresh.
It is the embryo of an avocado. I'm holding my hands. It is the before times. It's like I don't even know why they
would be the
a fetus.
Of ripe. By the way,
I don't know why they picked it off the tree, but the pip was so young, it was just soft, malleable, but the rest of it was incredibly hard. So it was like a very bad avocado, and it ruined my day. And I realized as I was complaining out loud, I said, "Oh, my avocado is not ripe enough. Now I have to have salmon in my bagels." And I realized at that moment that I am middle class. I have reached the middle class.
No Tesco for you, man.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that it was an avocado. I think what it actually was a test tube for growing like YouTube commenters' brains. Because this is the pip.
Got it.
This is the pip, and it is a perfectly smooth.
Why do you guys keep saying pip? By the way,
it's a stone or something. A pit. A pit. Sure. A pit.
Wait, that is it. That is a Brennan.
This is the half of the avocado pit
that I sliced through.
And
is it soft?
Look how much of a smooth brain this looks like. I mean, yeah, it's really soft. It's you could separate it. Like, look, I just ripped it apart.
That's actually wild. I've never seen an avocado do that before.
Yeah, and it's kind of white and
what kind of avocado
chalky.
was it? Was it like a Haas avocado, like Mexican avocado? What kind?
I don't know. Honestly.
Dark green.
Brennan's like there are different species.
I didn't know
there are
there were
multiple
different
avocados.
species.
Yeah, multiple.
I had no idea. It was a smaller one.
Holy crap, that's actually crazy. So that thing could have could have taken your hand off.
Yep.
So how about next time? Don't just slam it into the avocado.
But I tell you, Golden Boy. But I tell you, this is how you go about life. You have to take risks. You have to be willing.
But I feel like it's just an unnecessary risk to take.
No, but
like,
I don't think it's about.
Normally.
I don't think it's about taking risks. I think it's about being able to trust things. You should be able to trust that a pip will stop a blade.
The pip will stop the blade.
I feel like that's a reasonable thing to trust in your life. Like it's not too much of a risk to assume that the inner of an avocado is going to be the same every time you slice into it. Like a couple of days ago, I took some pain medication because I had a headache.
Yeah.
I'm trusting that it's normal pain medication. Instead, I took 2 extra strength sleep tablets and got high as balls and had to stagger my way home. And my girlfriend had to look after me on the night.
What? But like, did you not read the label?
It did stop the pain. Yeah, I
did you not read the label?
I looked at it and it said Walgreens pain reliever, and I didn't read the fine print that said extra strength will knock you out to sleep as well.
Yeah,
so, and
it should say PM.
Yeah, it did say PM, but I didn't.
What color was the pill?
I thought PM stood for pain medication. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, that makes sense to
AM
me.
medicine and PM medicine.
Oh, I didn't.
Pain medication's never labeled on the freaking box.
I
It's
mean,
pain
I don't
reliever.
know. I don't know. How do I know that? I'm just a young boy from England. I normally just buy raw acetaminophen and ibuprofen. But
what color was the medicine?
It was like green and white. It was like some weird
green
pill
means
thing.
green is usually nighttime medication.
Green,
What?
the color of life, is normally nighttime medication.
No, it's usually orange for daytime medication, green for nighttime
Well,
medication.
now I know.
Go to any Walgreens, Rite Aid, Dwayne Reed.
That didn't help me when I
CVS.
wrote off the entirety of Sunday night. Just sat on the sofa about to fall asleep. I nearly fell down the stairs once I got to my apartment as well. I felt incredibly drunk. You were only supposed to take one of them. They're extra strength, and I popped 2 of them because I had a really bad headache. Which is fine if it's just pain meds. It's not fine if it's
you're
also
smart and know that
sleep.
it's not pain.
That's about trusting things as well. And then on the night out, actually, another trust story. They go out, and one of our friends ends up absolutely belligerent. But not because he drank too much, because his drink got spiked.
Yeah, I did. I did hear about that. That's why whenever I go to a place, I don't know, either A, don't drink, or B, only have beer that's sealed. See, I feel like I've just lived. I've lived a lot, and you guys just haven't.
What are you talking about? I live my life.
I don't think it's unreasonable.
Soft avocado pit.
I don't think it's unreasonable to trust that your drink isn't going to get spiked. Like, people shouldn't live in fear of only ever drinking closed beer. I can have a cocktail. Let me live, Alex. Let me drink a cocktail without getting spiked.
That's why they always say, like,
tap my
just
ass.
be careful. They always say be careful. They don't. They're not. Like,
I mean, you say be careful though, but I said I saw Bren put on his Instagram or something. He was like, "Yo, people, be careful out there." And Beth saw it, my girlfriend, and was like, "Yeah, I mean, that only works so far because she got spiked by a bartender once in LA."
Oh my god!
Some bartender slipped something into a drink because apparently it's like a mugging thing. Like they get you all fucked up and then their friends rough you up and nick your shit.
Jesus.
Oh my god! Yeah. See, this is also the reason why I don't go outside. I don't engage with other human beings. I don't. I just don't trust.
Live in fear.
I live in fear constantly, bro. Live in fear.
God.
It's like that Lonely Island song.
I refuse to live in fear.
YOLO.
Well,
YOLO? How is YOLO living in fear?
No.
They got it backwards.
Watch the video. You'll see.
They made a song about YOLO, and they got the entire message backwards. And it was like, "Oh, YOLO, you have to survive. So you have to do everything safe." I'm like, you messed it up.
I love that. That's genius. That's genius.
It's actually with Adam Levine too from Maroon 5. It's pretty good.
Right.
Pretty good song.
Shame Maroon 5 sucks.
Whoa. That's just me.
I don't have an opinion
of all of the songs that okay, so my grandpa runs a music studio, a very small music studio in his house, right? So it's not like some big thing, but he spent many thousands of dollars on all of the different equipment, and he has local bands come in and record, or he used to before his hearing got shot. And he used to record his own stuff in there. And when we used to go over as kids, because I played piano and violin and guitar and stuff, and so he would let us record different bits of songs and then kind of piece them together. So it started off very basic. Like 4 years ago, I want to say, I did a cover of She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5. And that exists somewhere on the internet of me trying to hit that dumb high note in that song. Yeah, whereas like, she will... It's like so high. It's like a E flat above any human being's range. And that exists on the internet somewhere. Looking. I mean, I don't know where it is. It's probably on some private Dropbox, but it's out there.
Damn it.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Really looking for this, but it might be on a private server somewhere. We should ask the Russians. So this weekend, I was in LA.
Yep.
Doing the LA home series.
What do you think?
It was fun. It was fun to do, but it was different. Because so I did 2 Overwatch homestands, and that was my first Call of Duty event. That was the first COD event I did since 2014, which is kind of nuts. And I would say the crowds are just different. just different audience. Like, you know, people knock on Overwatch a ton for like reasons that are justified and unjustified. But if there's one thing you can't knock, it's the fact that the fans that show up to the Overwatch events, they are loud and passionate and into it, and it's actually like pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because there's a legitimate fandom there, where it was like at the home series, I didn't really feel that. Like when Optic played and they were playing really well, people were into it and they were cheering "Let's go Optic," and you know, that was nice. No one was really into the LA Guerrillas, and I think that was partly the Guerrillas' fault, unfortunately, because they subbed out Aches, which a lot of people paid to see. Yeah, they subbed him out subbed him, Lacefield, and Saints, who are like 3 really well-known players, and they swapped him out for 3 relative unknowns besides Blast, and they, I mean, you know, so people weren't really into the Guerrillas. I mean, the Guerrillas got eliminated. It wasn't like when Washington lost and there was like this somber mood in the crowd. When the Guerrillas lost, everyone's just like, oh, okay.
That's so weird, though, because if I was to pick an LA team that I thought was going to shit the bed in terms of the fan reception, it would have been Optic, because they had that whole drama with, you know, Hex leaving and making the Chicago Huntsmen, and a lot of their fans went over there, and people see Optic as just they bought the brand but didn't buy the, you know, like the feel.
And,
the family.
Feeling, yeah.
So I thought they would be the team that no one gave a fuck about in LA.
Yeah, no. Well, they were playing really well, and TJ and Dashy, who were in the Optic, that the former Optic beforehand, when they got bought, they like kind of poured it over. You know, people still really like them, so I think that helped. They were playing really well. They switched up roles. They moved Dashy back to the sub and put Slasher back to the AR, and Slasher's like a really, really good assault rifle player. So they made some good decisions and good mix-ups, and the coaching, you know, it started to kick in, and I think there was just a lot of practice that went into it. So they did well. Like, they definitely didn't want to go to their home series and lose, right? But again, it was just like a whole different vibe. Like when I was out there in Overwatch, I could do literally anything, and the crowd would cheer, get on their feet, go loud, go nuts. Out here, it was like pulling teeth. It was actually kind of hard.
Really?
Golden Boy's not actually funny.
No, I think, well, yeah, but I think that they what it is too is also the culture of Call of Duty. For the longest time, it was always like, you know, I'm a competitor and I'm just as good as you are, so thus I'm not going to be a fan of you because I should be up there, not you.
Right.
And there are a lot of players who are still like that. Secondly, it's also a community of people who really like try and act cool in person. You know, like not being a fan.
I feel like
means
Overwatch fans they know that they're nerds, whereas COD fans are in denial that they're nerds.
Yeah,
you know
that's a great way of putting it. Actually,
they're in denial, so they're like trying to act cool. That's the vibe I get, at least from Call of Duty. But like Overwatch fans, they know that they're playing a game with like 31 characters and it's like Disney-esque and there's a talking monkey. But COD is like serious, and they want it to be like a boys' club. So
it's very interesting. Sorry, Josh, do you want to continue on that?
Well, I was just going to talk about the comparison to CS as well, because CS is
that was what I was going to do.
Really? Yeah. Because CS is almost like the other way. Like it's even more serious, the game, but people the fans take it so seriously that it becomes like nerd culture in the opposite direction, right? Like you can have like, you know, like casual nerds who are really into Overwatch and they enjoy the game and they just enjoy all of the game and they're just appreciative to watch Overwatch. And then CS nerds are like, I know everything about this team. I know everywhere they've ever been. I'm super hardcore. I will chant their name, like super nerdy. And then in the middle, you've got Call of Duty who are like, yeah, like I'm a fan, but I'm not going to show that I'm a fan because I'm cool.
Yeah, that actually is the perfect assessment of Call of Duty players, or the perfect assessment of all of the fandoms across esports. Because in like Rocket League, for example, they're crazy about it, right? And they're all into it. You know, it's very much like Overwatch. And then so that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just weird to do the Call of Duty event and people. But the thing was, like, if you went up to them and like asked them to be in a contest or something like that, like they were totally down for it. Like everyone was down to like participate and do stuff to win shirts or to win free gear. Like they were totally into it. But it was just, again, it was just really odd. Like if I did like a Q&A with someone or like, you know, trivia, and they said something funny and I reacted from it. Like in Overwatch, it would be really funny. And in COD, it was like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the reaction, genuinely, that I got. Not that saying it was bad, right? Because I had fun still. Regardless, I had fun. I just think it's interesting how different those communities are.
Yeah. I find it super interesting how different games foster different communities. It's like one of the things that just like baffles me. Like it's just incredible to witness like a subreddit evolve into like its own thing with its own mannerisms and people with the same interests. Like you got the League of Legends people over there and like the CS people and the Overwatch people, and like there's different groups, but all those groups have so much in common. It's not just about the game. It's about like outside interests, so many different like opinions and views. And I look at a game like Valorant and I'm just like, it's going to be like, I mean, I'm trying to piece it together. I have no idea who will play Valorant or like what it's going to be like, but I'm like, maybe it's like bit of like the betas in Counter-Strike mixed with the cool people from League and like the hardcore people of Overwatch. And like, I'm just like, I wonder what this Valorant community would look like, because I find it mesmerizing to just like witness the community form. And I'm just intrigued like how that game will turn out based on how the game is played and the characters and the lore and like everything that goes into the game.
Look at the Reddit. Look at the Reddit right now.
Like, well, I mean, last time I looked, it's like dead, dude. There's no
people are posting. Where is it at right now? Let me see.
But it's such a small amount of people, I find, that it hasn't.
Well, there
hasn't developed. It's an embryo of a subreddit.
yeah. So it's about 36,000 people, right? And yeah, it's taking time to grow.
I saw the exact same thing with the Overwatch subreddit. Because when they announced that shit, I jumped on the Reddit and it was around like 36,000, 40,000. I remember exactly. It was around this point. And I don't think you can tell at this point which way the fan base is going to go, because back then it was like actually really hardcore crowd was on that subreddit, and now you look at it now.
Yeah,
right?
And that's what I was going to say about Valorant. It's not that at all. Like the top posts are like art designs.
Brax
getting signed,
and then Brax getting signed. Yeah,
dude.
But like you go to the Brax Reddit and you look at the comments. And there's a lot of like embracing hype. Like a lot of people could be in the comment section, legitimately go to that comment section and be like, "Oh, he threw a game in Counter-Strike. He's never proven himself." Like blah blah blah. It could be negativity. Instead, I go into this comment section and it's all like hype, and it's just like people, saying it's a great story, like pumping him up. And I'm like, these are the signs of what this community will foster and what it will develop to, and it's like in the early stages. And so I'm interested to see how it develops over time.
You'll get the fans like this. The exact same thing with Blizzard fans less so these days, because I think there were some like hardcore Blizzard fans right back in the day. They would play every Blizzard game. They would only play Blizzard games, and they would go to every BlizzCon, and they were super hardcore. I don't think that's the same these days, because Blizzard's kind of lost its. They definitely still exist, but I think it's a little bit less so, right? Blizzard's become more of a corporation rather than feeling like almost like a family of friends making games.
Yeah.
But those people definitely exist for Riot. And I was reading the comments. One of the top posts for the last week is to shroud Dr. Disrespect and everyone. You are wrong when you say the game won't do well, because it's hard to know what is regarding abilities on the screen. I don't know. League of Legends has 140 plus champions, each with 4 unique abilities, and yet League of Legends is the #1 game worldwide and #1 esport, and yet a person watching it for the first time has no idea what's going on. So the logic you both used is invalid and proven to be untrue. It's illegal to claim the title of doctor without being approved by a board.
Come on. I mean, that's got to be a troll.
Maybe, but
it doesn't sound like a troll until then.
All the comments are all agreeing with it, and there's 204 comments.
Yeah,
and
you know what though? They're not wrong though.
Well,
they're not
the
wrong.
person making
they're not
thing.
But this is
I don't think
to go back to before we get taken off track. There's going to be the Riot fans. They're going to play this game no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the sort of fan base you're going to get. But there's a lot of casual people that play League of Legends as well. Like they don't even watch the game. Like me, for example, I don't watch the game competitively, but I play it because it's a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
but there is like oh my god, I'm looking for a word. Like if you look at all FPS games that are out there and the different communities, like CS:GO, Overwatch, Arena FPS, shooters in general have a more hardcore fan base, I'd be willing to say, because it's harder. It's a harder skill set to acquire aiming rather than clicking on a map and killing creeps.
I'm not sure that's true, though. I mean, I understand the logic,
hardcore was the wrong word to use because I feel like it's different mindsets. I feel like, FPS is more action, maybe. Like, people are hardcore about Hearthstone, but it's more about thinking. And MOBAs is more about thinking, maybe.
Well, I mean, Dota and StarCraft have some of the most hardcore of the hardcore communities that I could think of.
Yeah,
true. Although, to be fair, the Korean
like
StarCraft thing was...
They're hardcore, but they're not like edgy. Like
Dota's very edgy.
Really?
Dota's incredibly edgy.
Yes.
But if you look at the crowd at TI, they're not like ripped jeans and
because
just like...
No.
Okay,
is that what edgy means to you?
No,
is edgy like a Avril Lavigne fan as a skateboarder? Like, is that what... No, I think what you're...
Edgy is people who find jokes about making the hard R funny and...
that was not the edgy I was going for, Brent.
Being
Don't
offensive,
put that
right?
label out there. Dude.
No,
that was not what I was trying
that
to
is
say.
Dota fans, bro. And they're like, you see this when Sir Action Slacks interviews Dota fans at events. I'm saying this as a fan of Dota, as a person who consumed the esports for 4 years. Obviously, I'm not like that, but those are the people that the game just attracts because it's so hardcore, so niche that it's almost like the gremlins of society.
In what world? Is that true that they find jokes with the hard R?
Yeah, bro.
Funny?
It's you watch the game. People will be spamming racist shit. They'll be making.
I mean, that's
jokes
CS:GO
about...
as well, though. Any game you play of CS:GO, we've been playing a lot of it recently, and I would say 1 in every 3 games, from what we've experienced, there's someone making some racist comment in the chat.
Especially
like
because, like, we have our Twitch streams connected to our games. So when you press the scoreboard in a CS game, it says like 500 viewers or 200 viewers or whatever, and people. Like anonymous people on the internet, they see that viewer number and they're like, I can say the forbidden word on stream.
Yeah.
And they're
like,
just
I'm gonna get this guy down.
Absolute fucking morons, and they drop the hard R because they think it's funny. It's so dumb.
Because they think it's funny.
Well, it's also a societal issue, to be completely frank.
Sure,
I think that's parenting.
Another little anecdote I have though that explains like these hardcore audiences and how detached they are from society is I made a post on Dota, or like I asked the Dota forum, are there any drinking games to play that while you watch a friend play Dota? Like, what are some cool drinking game rules while you watch someone play Dota? Because you remember when we were in Thailand?
What forum? What are you talking about? A forum?
On the Dota 2 subreddit.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant this was way back in time.
No. Yeah. But when we were in Thailand, I made a post and said, does anyone know any cool drinking game rules for Dota 2? Because we were in Thailand and we were playing Dota on like the laptop or whatever, and we were just watching the other person play and trying to think up rules. And the suggestions were just like, they just screamed, "I have never been outside before." I've never played a drinking game before. But those are the type of people that it frequents, and they like the fact that it's super hardcore and super niche. And if you're not part of their community, then get the hell out. If you don't remember the niche balance change from 6 months ago that made this item go from 10% to 15%, then you're not a true fan, and you shouldn't be commentating the game. That's an example I'm pulling straight from the source here, because I made a mistake with some weird thing that I was commentating when I was casting that game, and people were just like, "Get the fuck out of here! We don't like this guy doesn't even know the game." It's like, wow, and that was a common opinion.
Yeah,
wow.
I just hope Valorant will be like the perfect storm of all good.
It'll probably mirror League, right? You think?
I think it'll be
but I think it will be like a bit less cute than League, a bit less weeaboo than League, and a little bit of the cool people in CS:GO. Like, I hope it creates a good blend.
It's going to be like Overwatch.
You
think?
I don't think
way.
so.
There's no way.
What do you mean, no way?
I don't think
there's no way it'll be like Overwatch.
I don't think casual people will
no.
enjoy the game as much because it has tight gunplay like CS.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of Overwatch fans that stick around the community that just like enjoy playing main tanks without aim
and
or
mercy.
Just like playing Lucio.
Well, what I was saying was the reason why it was going to be like Overwatch was if you go on the Overwatch subreddit, it's a lot of just a lot of right like game clips and an artwork and cosplay, and I could totally see that happening with this. It's actually it may end up being a little bit more like the Apex Legends community, to be honest with you, because the Apex Legends community is very similar. It's hardcore, like not hardcore, but it's like game clips, but then some artwork. There's always like there's no real talk of competitive on here. It's actually kind of non-existent. And then balance changes, people just wanting balance changes. Like I feel like in that you can kind of describe every subreddit in that same light, but I think if I had to find a subreddit to compare it to, it would probably be more like Apex Legends than and if you go on the subreddit, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Like the first post is a creative post, Little Legends, and it's like a chibi drawing of Wattson and Wraith, right? Like that's the one of the number one posts right now on that subreddit. And then the post below that is a clip in 10 seconds, like a 10-second clip. So like I think that's more or less like where it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like super hardcore, like Dota. I definitely don't think it's going to be like that. But
no,
also,
I don't think so.
That's like a real common thing known in like the gaming industry as a whole. That like when I at Twitch we did these science things. I think I talked about it on the podcast before, where we were able to get the numbers of like what audience played what games and what was the cross pollination between games. And we did it for Dota, and no lying, like I would say 95% of the people that played and watched Dota only played and watched Dota.
Yep.
That was it. Yeah. Like the cross pollination that happened, I think, was with Counter-Strike, and that was it. Like not even League of Legends like had the cross pollination. Maybe it changed now, but I highly doubt it, to be honest with you.
I find it very interesting to think about what's it called? Not American football, but soccer within the US, you know what I mean? Because that was a situation where you have an existing sport with a very different feel to North American sports, like incredibly rowdy, the chants are creative, they're whooping and hollering all across the pace of the game, even when their team isn't really doing that much. It's got a very specific vibe to it whenever you go to a football game in Europe that is very different to North American games. And when soccer started to get much bigger in America, it adopted the European soccer mindset rather than adopting the North American sports mindset. So the same kind of people would be going and visiting hockey games, basketball games, baseball games, and acting incredibly different there than they did when they went to soccer games because of the different expectation of what a fan should act like. And I think that if you have like a certain expectation of what a Valorant fan should be or how hardcore they should be, you can kind of craft that very early on, and other people feel inclined to act in a certain way. Like I don't think it's naturally just because the same kind of people that are very rabid fans of like CS or whatever, even the people that are absolute dickheads in game probably act very nicely when they're at work or in different areas of their life. Like they just feel like they can when they're in CSGO because other people do it. So I think just because people come from a different game into Valorant, you can still have a very different atmosphere like you would see in North American soccer.
Interesting. I definitely, if there is they are 100% in control, Riot, of the message too. Because Overwatch early on was very adamant on the message of like, this game is for everyone, play how you want. It was like, the diverse cast of characters, peace, love, all that stuff was like very much like at the forefront of this game. And it always gave you that heroic feeling. And I use heroic obviously because they call the characters heroes, but even the music, right? you listen to music and it's all like trumpets and epic drums and you really just, again, like real the music just had a different vibe to it. Whereas if you actually look at the Valorant content that they're putting out there right now, it is meant to be cool.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to it, it's meant to be cool. The characters are meant to sound cool. And again, it reminds me a lot of Apex. It's like I'm kind of getting the same vibe from Valorant as I'm getting from Apex. And I think, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually think it's like a really, really good thing. But I think that's kind of where it's at right now for me.
Some game dev, I mean, some people just like haven't understood how much some of that stuff impacts communities and public perception of what a game or a community is like. Okay, so like a lot of the points you were saying is like correct. Yeah, like the fanfare, trumpets, whatever, heroic kind of feeling. And then we got DJ Khaled for season 1 of the finals, and it's just like people are like, oh yeah, whatever, it's just a music act. But it's just like, yeah, it's just the music act for our Super Bowl, and for season 1 we got DJ Khaled.
But then you go to season 2 and you got Zed, and everyone's like really into it.
Yeah, it was like super. Yeah, and it's like I think Zed fit the Overwatch community perfectly because he plays Overwatch, so that's a big boon, But I think a lot of Overwatch fans actually genuinely like Zed's music. But like, it's not only what the community liked in say Zed, it's also what people from other games look at Overwatch and say, hey, they got Zed, and that will positively or negatively affect other people's opinion about Overwatch, which honestly, people can say like, oh, they're not fans of Overwatch, like we don't care about them. But like, no, it's like you want to have the biggest impact you can in the gaming space as a whole. And at least you would want other gamers to respect your franchise, even if they don't like it. So I'm like, okay, what if we had, instead of DJ Khaled, we had Run the Jewels? I think a lot of different games would actually look at Overwatch and be like, holy shit, Overwatch,
opportunity.
They have freaking Run the Jewels. Like, I don't even like Overwatch, but they're fucking cool and they're badass. And that is going to bring in more gamers to us. But not even, like, besides that point, it's going to have other games look at Overwatch and be like, holy shit, that's cool. And so I think not only, like, talking about the music act before the freaking finals, but, like, a lot of different things going on for different games affect the gaming.
Yeah, like the League of Legends performance. Remember when it had True Damage, right? And like people loved it. It was like because it was like really, it looked really nice. They had that amazing technology that they were using. It was like overall like a really sick performance. Yeah. And granted, True Damage wasn't like the biggest name, but what was cool was that it was a very different kind of performance. So it wasn't just like a guy going out there. Like when DJ Khaled just went out there and he was literally doing nothing. He was just saying like, put your hands up for God, Jesus Christ. And then he's like walking around, doing his dumbass dance and, doing his thing. And then that was it. Right. Whereas like Zed had this really awesome light show that was set up for him and it was just done really well. Or True Damage had that. Like people were talking about the performance of True Damage, right? So I think, like if you were to send someone out there just on their own, just to perform, like a Run the Jewels would have like dominated because like they have talent and they're really good.
Yeah. Oh my God, Run the Jewels would have been so good.
Yeah. But then like in comparison though, it's funny you mentioned the perception because Snoop Dogg did Call of Duty. And I think, again, just to kind of go back to the original point of this whole thing about the crowd and the reaction and the way that they are, Snoop Dogg commands a different kind of audience.
Yes.
Yeah. Of individuals that, again, perceive that they're cool and that they're whatever it may be. And it just goes to show you like how far off the mark DJ Khaled was for our finals. And then also just how the perceptions of the different communities like come into play. And then you have some games like Counter-Strike where people don't even want musical performances because like if you do that, like
because they only care about the game. They're not there for the spectacle of the show. They're just only there for the game.
But it also makes us just look at CS:GO and be like, oh, they're just doing CS:GO. stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I can look at League of Legends and I'm like, holy shit, they got Louis Vuitton partnership. Like, I can never afford that shit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I ain't buying that stuff.
But you can get it.
But putting that label, combining the Louis Vuitton label with League of Legends affects the perception of League of Legends more than people realize.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, dude, they were using the Louis Vuitton case for the trophy. That's the same case. That is not the same exact case, but they also do the same thing for the FIFA World Cup trophy. Like, that's a big freaking deal. You know, it's a big freaking deal. We were talking about Valorant and and how the message is controlled. I might as well jump into this one. So apparently, on social media, Puif, who is the global communications lead, I believe, global communications lead for Valorant, tweeted the other day. Actually, no, not about 19 hours ago. He tweeted that it is Valorant in all caps and not Valorant with just a capital V. He says, it's not going to stick, but let's try.
That's a thonker, honestly.
So then Slasher responded with, how about no? I mean, seriously, why?
Yeah.
And Jacob Wolf says, AP style looks down upon you. And then I have the best one of them all. I said, it'll be a Valorant effort.
Right, and that's coming off the screen immediately. Good Lord. Just dreadful.
I just want to bring it back to Run the Jewels.
Oh my God. We're moving on to topics, Bren, but go ahead.
Because I am so fucking pissed. I haven't really been too pissed with coronavirus yet.
What? Wow,
despite the fact that it's ruined my job and livelihood to a significant degree, it's always just been like, fuck, we'll make the best of a bad situation, I guess. But there's a Run the Jewels concert, April the 16th, I think. Very close, like an hour and a half drive away. And I was going to buy some scalpers tickets and go to it. Now, do you think that shit's happening?
No.
Probably fucking not. Probably, well, it's
not canceled yet?
But fucking, it's probably going to be. And I am just pissed, bro. I'm pissed.
It's okay.
Same with another concert that I'm going to. I'm not going to say because I actually do have tickets for it, but it's like that's in May, and I'm like, I don't know if this shit will clean up, but I hope it does because I really want to go to it.
Hope it does for you as well, Bren.
Yeah.
Next on to that topic. Do we agree?
Moving on.
Moving on. I hope you get to go to Run the Jewels. But yes, that is actually super annoying that they wanted to be all caps. I mean, I get it. And here's the other thing. I think that I had always seen that because the announcement always in all caps.
Yeah.
But dude, what? Like, no one's gonna stick with that.
No.
It's like when who was it? PUBG. PUBG was the same thing.
Yeah. Player unknown battlegrounds.
Yeah, no, but they didn't want it to
caps.
be called PUBG. They wanted it to be called
wasn't it
PUBG? I think it was PUBG or
no, I think they wanted it all caps Player Unknown Battlegrounds, didn't they?
Oh, they did. No, but what I'm saying is the acronym. I remember I said I did an event for them, and I remember I said PUBG, and they were like, "Oh no, don't call it PUBG. It's PUBG or something like that."
Oh Jesus!
And I was like, "Okay, PUBG, but PUBG's like way easier to say."
Yeah, PUBG, but PUBG never made sense anyway because when you actually like sound it out, like PUBG is Player Unknown Battlegrounds. Which is so weird.
Yeah, it's true. They're not wrong, but
you just have to go by what people are saying. And like Valorant being all caps just is nonsense. Like they're gonna lose that fight so early on.
Yeah,
I mean Overwatch does a bit of it, doesn't it?
Does it?
Like all the in-game text and everything is like capitalized, and
Well,
it's like
that's just a font. They're not
the font type.
They don't tweet with like Overwatch.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the subreddit though is in all caps.
Right, but again, it's just a font.
Is
Like they don't use any official stuff in.
Yeah, it's just a font though.
The font that they
Like,
use is
no.
called
The actual subreddit is if you go on reddit.com/r/Valorant, all of the
Valorant. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Overwatch. Yeah, Valorant.
No, not Overwatch.
Yeah, okay.
Valorant. Overwatch is just with a capital O and then spelled regularly.
But
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Valorant being all caps is fine, but anytime people talk about it or write about it, they're not going to put it in all caps or like maybe some official, ESPN or something will because they adhere by the guidelines, but they might just follow AP and just fucking put a capital V at the front.
I was going to say no. If I wrote for ESPN and I wrote an article and in the middle of a sentence I was going to write Valorant, no way I write all caps. No way.
Yeah. That's a battle
Capital
that they're
V,
certainly going to lose.
Yeah.
I would be shocked.
Kind of a pointless
they
hill
keep
to
it going.
die on as well.
It is.
I'd love to know why, but
It does look
I think
cooler.
it's just branding.
All caps.
It stands out. Yeah, it does look cooler.
Have you ever
It
written the
stands
word?
out.
Have you ever written the word out like without using capitalization the whole way through? It looks kind of shitty.
no.
It doesn't look that good. Like the word itself just doesn't look very good.
Yeah, no, it's not. What?
The word doesn't look good. Like there are some words that look great. Valorant doesn't look very good.
Valorant,
fair.
all capitalized, doesn't look good.
It does. Valorant capitalized looks pretty good.
No, when I read Valorant capitalized, I want to say Valorant.
I'll tell you what's good.
Go, Brian.
The word Zion.
Oh,
I think the word Zion looks great.
in all
Really?
caps,
Yeah.
it looks good.
No,
too.
well, I mean in all caps, but also not in all caps. Tell you what looks also good in all caps. My name, my full name.
Bren.
True.
A lot of O's, a lot of N's.
Yeah.
You know what tilts me
Can I-
to the end of the earth is when I do shows and people put Golden Boy and they put a space in between the golden and boy.
Yeah.
And then, or
Yeah.
when they put Golden Boy and they capitalize the B. And it's like I feel like I've been doing it wrong.
No, I
but
feel you. I
I'm
feel
so
you.
far gone that I don't care anymore, and I just want them to spell it right.
I've been
famous
fighting
enough
this
to spell it
battle.
right.
I've been fighting the same battle for the last 2 years with the fucking Overwatch League editorial team. And I am this close to just blowing my lid off because
What
they
is it?
won't
What
stop
is it?
writing my full name as Bren Hook. The people understand that Bren is shorthand for Brennan. It is not an alias. It is my name. What the fuck?
It's like typing Richard Lewis. Lewis.
Yes. I'm like, yeah, and it doesn't matter how many emails I send out. I have never even met someone from editorial in Overwatch League, by the way. I don't know if they exist, but I have sent out so many emails and it just never gets fixed.
I don't think this is the medium to say that.
I mean, I've given the feedback in the proper mediums. Maybe now I'm gonna start going outside the channels, huh?
Go outside.
Bren going into HR.
Fucking,
outside
I
of the
mean,
system,
Jesus
outside of the
Christ.
You might as well scream it into the void. then I'm gonna be watching this.
Richard Lewis. No, actually, it's like that for Sims. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a Halo caster. It's like that for Sims because his name is Richard
Thought you meant the
Sims.
game.
So they'll
Oh.
do Richard, and his gamer tag or his Twitter is The Sims. So it'll be like Richard the Sims
Sims. Oh.
So and then he'll just be like, mate, it's just Richard Sims.
Yeah. I never really saw it with Puckett though. Did they ever use Christopher
Yes,
Puckett?
they did.
Puckett?
Yeah, Christopher Puckett. Yeah.
That's
no,
dreadful.
actually, no. It was like that before, but they stopped doing it, and now it's just they just do Christopher Puckett.
In Overwatch League, though, the editorial articles, Puckett never had this problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it is though? Is because your name gets attached to so many different things, like Brittlemaker, Brenji, what else? The Broomfist,
It's
like
not
the
my
BR.
problem, dude. It's not my problem. I've got too much clout. Okay, that's for them to work out, though. Like, I don't know, bro.
It's a fair argument. I think no, dude. Like the way I have the problem, and here's the other thing too. I always feel like a proper tool when I correct them. I'm like, oh, hey,
Well,
by the
actually-
way, it's Golden Boy, all one word, capital G.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, does that matter? We're like, yes, it
Yeah.
does.
It's my brand,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
It's my
It's
name.
my brand.
I still
Yeah.
get people calling me Slideshow constantly.
Yo,
Like,
that's
all
great.
the time. People, it's
Okay,
just
that's
when they read the words, it's just the first thing that springs into their head is slideshow. Apparently, people have worked with PowerPoint more often than they've watched The Simpsons, I guess. Or
So
been
your
to a
name is
carnival.
from The Simpsons. Confirmed.
Yeah. It's from
Sideshow
Sideshow
Bob.
Bob.
It's a great one. Johnny, where did Reinforce come from?
I don't want to talk
You just wanted to sound cool. Is that
I
it?
don't
Want to talk about it?
Wait, why don't
No,
you want
no.
to talk about it?
Why do you
This
want to
is
talk about it?
cringe.
John?
Oh, come on, Johnny!
No, it's
How is it
it's
cringe? Okay,
No.
one, cringe is not the proper term to use there. You're just
Wait,
embarrassed.
didn't you tell this on Foreheads once?
I don't remember
No,
it.
No. My nickname when I was like 10 or like 9 or something, I was a huge surf fan in like Counter-Strike Source and shit. I would go on surf servers all the time. Like Surf a Great River was like one of the best. Was it Great River? Did you guys ever play Surf a Great River?
No, I didn't.
No.
I played a lot of surf.
I was 22.
Oh my god! And my nickname then was Ghost.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's suitably
And
edgy.
yeah, and I was like, no, not my
That's
jam.
the name of my best friend. I still call
And
that
then,
to this day.
So then I nicknamed it Reinforce for reasons that will be left unknown.
No, come
No,
on.
Going
Come
to
on.
I'll tell you where my
a
name came
different
from.
topic. No, I don't
I'll show
care
you
where your
where
name
my-
comes from.
I'll
Going
tell you
to
where
a
my name
different-
came from.
Come on,
My name is
Johnny.
No, it's not happening. Going into
No,
a different
hold on. Hold on. I'm not done. My name came from an anime called Golden Boy. This is the anime. Okay.
Can I
Okay,
see
you
it?
got
Dude?
it.
It's
Sounds
so
right.
bright.
There
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
Okay, I see.
This
it,
is
yeah.
the
That's a classic, by the way.
That's pretty cool.
Now I'm going to show you guys this back part of the DVD case, and this could get you banned, but we'll find out.
What?
Yeah.
So, no,
Yes.
it's not that bad. I
Yeah.
don't think it's that bad.
It's pretty
But
bad.
yeah. So this is it. This is the back.
I can't really
Right.
see. I can only
It's-
see a
it's a
lot of
bunch
anime
of-
girls.
It's a bunch of women in bikinis.
Okay.
Yes. So
just
basically,
art.
this anime is about a guy who, and I didn't know this, by the way, when I first started watching it. I was an innocent child. This anime is about a guy who is good at everything, but is also a colossal screw up. And he's also kind of, sort of, and I learned this later in life, a pervert. Didn't know that at the time of watching the
Okay.
anime because I just thought that he really liked girls, but I didn't understand that he was being pervy.
Right.
So it's really good. It's like, I don't know how many episodes it is. It's maybe like 14 episodes, I would say. His name's Kentaro. And yeah, and it's super funny though. And he always like studies and he always like does his research and in the end he always ends up with the girl and he always ends up succeeding whatever task he's doing. So that's why I named myself Golden Boy. Everyone thinks it's because I'm Jewish. No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Sorry, why would it be because of you? But why would it be because you're Jewish?
Golden, like
Right.
Gold's a very common. It's a very common
I didn't know that.
last name, and then like Goldstein or Goldenstein
Right,
or whatever. And then people also think I'm Oscar De La Hoya fan. No, I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm a Tito Trinidad fan. And yeah, and that was
Wow.
that's the reason why. So Johnny, I
So
shared
Johnny,
my story.
why?
You should share yours.
Yeah, why?
It's not happening.
Why? How can it be that
why?
bad?
What
No,
do we
it's
need to
not
do to
happening.
get you to share this story, Johnny? What does the podcast need to achieve in order for you to share this story?
Yeah, in a
I
future
don't know.
episode.
No.
We'll have to get more subscribers.
Now I'm
Wow.
starting to think that
Subscribe and leave reviews.
did you steal someone's identity?
No,
Like
no.
what? I don't
It's like
understand.
it's like a Highlander.
Okay, I
Did
would
you
say
kill
this.
someone?
It comes from a song, but that's about it.
Oh,
comes
so
from
it's
the
a crunch level song.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
there's nothing wrong
wonderful.
with that. Like you're a different person now compared to when you made the alias.
Not really, because it's still good. Anyway,
It worked out well when you were Reinhardt, man.
anyway,
and,
I thought of a topic that we haven't written in our rundown.
Okay.
oh dear.
Where we're talking about names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you? Okay, I might just get
Oh,
completely
here
shut
we go.
down. But have you thought about potential names for your future kids?
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
Because
many
I have,
years ago.
like the past 6 months, I have, and I have. So I'll start. Frick
So
it.
you can't share your name, by the way. You can't.
Why not? Why?
Because someone could take it. That's the
Who
point.
cares?
No, because someone actually did that. Well, I don't know if they did it. My cousin did that. We shared the name that we wanted to have for our daughter, me and Cynthia, and then my cousin named her kid that.
Okay, well, I'm not going to name I'm not getting a kid.
No,
for,
I'm
like,
not saying
half a
you guys are
decade.
going to steal my name. I'm talking about the people who listen and watch us. I don't
Why
trust.
does it matter?
Well, then I
You
then
don't
I
know
can
that.
claim
Oh yeah, you're
clout.
right. Actually, it doesn't matter.
I get to claim
Yeah.
clout.
You don't know him, dude.
So
Sorry,
I think.
my bad.
I mean, I'm still not decided, obviously, but the front runner, if I get baby girl, like half a decade, I don't know when I'm getting kids.
Dear
is
God.
But I'm
Okay.
getting
Is-
them as if he's getting them delivered.
I don't know.
Amazon Prime. or
Amazon.
whatever. FedEx
It'll make
shit.
like 23andMe will like expand to like create a baby or something. I don't know.
It'll have new
Um,
technology.
The front runner for a baby girl right now is Naomi.
Good
I
name.
think that's a great name.
Solid name. Yeah, that's what my sister's called.
Yep.
I stole it from that. No,
Did you really? Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Of course, no.
No, but Naomi or Naomi?
Naomi.
Naomi?
Yeah, I just fucked up the pronunciation. Kind of an accent. I'm gonna name my kid Naomi, and then I'm gonna fuck up the pronunciation her entire youth.
Okay. What about if it's a boy?
I don't know. I don't
You know
have
it's
a great
50-50
I don't-
chance.
Yeah, I don't have a great boy name. Like maybe like Ethan, but I don't.
Ethan.
I'm not attached to that. I'm not
Okay.
attached to that right now. No.
That's-
Sorry, not Ethan. No, sorry, Henry.
Henry. All right.
Yeah,
Henry's
I'm
a
not
very
attached to
British
Henry.
name.
Very strong British name.
But
Yeah.
Henry has a bit of clout to the name.
Henry.
It's quite posh.
Yeah. But
Henry?
you know, it's not put in place anywhere.
You're not
you know, I
married
don't
to it.
feel-
You're
I
not
don't
married
feel-
to it.
Yeah, I'm not married to it. I don't feel great, but like Naomi for now is
Okay.
good front runner.
All right, Josh, what about you?
I'll tell you what the best. I believe this genuinely. I think this is objectively the best male name to have, and
Not true.
it's Ben. And the reason for that is that there is so
Never-
much shit that you can do with it. You can be called Ben. You can be called Benjamin. You can be called Benny.
Yeah, what are you going to
call-
Banny.
Okay. I don't know. I thought there was more ways that you could spin that name, but
Is it because you want the you know?
what?
Ben Wilkinson?
What? What the hell are you
Like,
talking about?
Like short
Duh.
first, long last.
Oh, I mean, that is the best way of doing things. Yeah, you shouldn't have you shouldn't have two names that are both long, and you shouldn't have two
like
names
Jonathan
that are both
Larson?
single syllable.
Right,
Jonathan Larson, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to come up with incredible names, like really good names, I think the best setup is a double syllable first name, single syllable last name. 'Cause it's
Brendan
got-
Holy
It's-
shit, you've thought about this.
It's a badum-tch, basically, right? It's
Brendan Hook. Like my life's a joke. But
Jason Bourne. Like that kind of stuff,
yeah.
right? It's like a lot
What
of
the-
a lot of those names are where you find the most punch,
you're-
in my opinion. My
Josh
surname's fucked anyway, man.
Wilkinson.
Oh, I didn't come up with my name. Do you think I would have chosen that for myself? No. But I'm saying if you've got a long last name, you need something short at the beginning. Anyway, I'm getting off track. The objectively, and I believe this more so than the guy's name.
stupid.
Objectively, the best female name to have, the best woman's name is Elizabeth, because you can go
yes,
Elizabeth,
yes.
Beth, Lizzie, Liza, Ellie.
Liz.
You're
Liz.
really stretching it now.
No, I mean those are all very
does have a
genuine
lot of
names that you
variety.
can choose
Why
from.
would you want variety?
You need
they could
variety
adopt-
so that they don't get stuck into one name. Because if you call your fucking son Oscar and he's not absolutely
Fun fact, my
dominating when it
brother-in-law,
comes to
who's here right now in my apartment, is named Oscar.
okay, is he a posh guy?
No, not at all.
Well,
He's-
there is no rough guy
quite
in
the
the world
opposite.
that suits the name Oscar,
Oscar.
or
there's no
Henry.
rough guy.
No,
Oscar Wilfred.
Oh, well, you should meet my brother-in-law.
what? Then he probably doesn't suit his name. He probably suits a name like
I think it's
Bill.
different in America, though. It's different in America.
I should see if Oscar's here just to.
Yeah. Dude, get him in.
Hold on
I'll
a
tell you
second.
another great name. One of my little brother's friends is called Charles Badger. And I love that name.
Charles Badger.
Because it's
Charles,
such
you can style anyway. Anyhow.
Charles or Charlie. And that difference between Charles and Charlie is the exact opposite end of the class spectrum. If someone's upper class, their name is Charles Badger. And he sits there and he does his notes with a quill. But
yes,
if-
Charles Badger.
Charles Badger, he wears a monocle.
You're lucky. You're lucky. He's walking Stella right now.
Or
but if he comes back,
if the guy is a ruffian and he doesn't fit the name Charles Badger, he's wheeling dealing Charlie Badger, isn't he? You go down, you get your bits and pieces from Charlie Badger. He always knows
So
someone.
you've just thought of only two caricatures:
That's what
Posh.
everyone fits into.
posh and Cockney dealer. Like that is not everybody.
You are Charlie Badger. Golden
I'm
Boy is
not.
Charlie Badger. Reinforces
I don't-
Charles Badger.
I don't believe that's fair, Joshua.
But then
my
you call
name-
me Johnny. Johnny is
there.
the Charlie of Jonathan.
No, it's not. Johnny is boyish. It's not roguish. Charlie is roguish.
But Jonathan is the posh, and
Yes,
Johnny
it is.
the Charlie.
In
But
what
Jonathan
way
is a mouthful. That's why you have to shorten it. Charlie is not a mouthful. Charles isn't a mouthful.
John is pretty roguish, isn't it?
John is versatile. I like John because
Well,
John can be
okay,
both.
so you claim that you like the Ben.
Yes, Benjamin.
But in order to gain the most unfucked up variety, would you actually name them Benjamin so that you could shorten Benjamin? Or because if you just name them Ben,
oh no, you definitely name them. You give them the full name. You give them the long name first, and you get them to pick. The theme here is
goes
choice.
Against your thing.
No, it's not. It's never going to be down to me.
Benjamin is more than two.
Oh, that's my opinion. Is that that best names are done like that? Basically, what I want is my kid to have a choice and not to be given a name that it doesn't suit them. Like my mum's name is Lee, and she hated it growing up because it's a guy's name in most of the UK, and so. She just get relentlessly bullied. Like
if I'm saying Benjamin Wilkinson, I will need a sip of water before every time I say it.
But Benjamin Wilkinson though does sound very
kind of sounds distinguished.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah.
It's like Benjamin Wilkinson. Like, can you imagine? Like he's in the arena, he's like to the ring, weighing 500 pounds. Benjamin Wilkinson. That actually sounds pretty sick.
It's all right. Yeah.
I am annoyed, Josh, that you think that my name is like a wheeling dealing slime ball.
No, I'm not saying your name is. Your name is great. I actually love your name. It adheres to my badum tish. I'm saying your personality is wheeling dealing slime ball.
I cannot believe, Joshua, that you are saying this. That my name, Brennan Hook, first of my name, born in Gloucestershire. I cannot believe that you're making these kind of accusations.
Oh my god, the best thing ever would be if we got Brennan Hook the second. That would be incredible.
I just named my kid Brennan again? Oh, wow.
Brennan.
I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys before, and apparently everyone's going to think I'm a weirdo when I share this, because apparently it's weird, and I didn't know that. But my name's Alex, my father's name is Alex, and my brother's name is also Alex.
Yeah.
3 Alexes.
You told us this before. Mendez. And they call you Andrew or something, right?
And they call me Andrew, because that's my middle name.
But I don't know if that's weird. I think it's just arrogance.
You know what I mean? That to my father.
What? Yeah. But do you have like the third or something in your name?
I am Alex Andrew Mendez the third.
Oh my god!
That's so good.
Wow!
Yeah. What is that your legal name,
bro? Honey, they like my name. He always makes fun of me about it.
Is your legal name? Does it include the third?
My legal name does have the third in it.
Oh hell yes!
Oh,
that is dope.
That's all I'm calling you from now on. That's all I'm calling.
No. Dude, if I'm making an account on like an airline like freaking Delta and they're like, do you have a suffix? And I'm like, I got a fucking suffix, dude.
The third.
Fuck. Yes, I do.
That should be the name of the episode. I got a fucking suffix. It actually causes a lot of problems having a suffix, especially like if, let's say, it's not consistent. One time I got a check and they wrote the check out to Alex Mendez and I went to go cash the check. And then they said, well, this doesn't say Alex A. Mendez the third. And I was like, well, that's me, though. I'm Alex Mendez. She's like, there's a million Alex Mendezes in this world. How do I know this is yours? I said, that's my address. I am me. And then she's like, I'm sorry, I can't cash a check.
That's
and then
nuts.
I had to get the check rewritten with Alex Andrew Mendez III, which took a long ass time. So having a suffix and having like all that stuff is actually pretty shit.
It is kind of badass, though.
Yeah, sure. But funny enough, my father was like, when you have a kid, you have to name your kid Alex. And I said no, obviously, because that's just crazy. Alex is the most common name ever. To share with you how common it was, when I was at the LA Home Series, I said no to Dad. Yes, I did. Don't give me that sass.
Oh, wow. Now he's having
an
argument with
Sophie though. They thought Alex Andrew Mendez III sounded really cool. Okay, I don't need your sass. So I was getting boba at the this place by the shrine, and I went to go and order, and then I sat down and I just ordered. They asked for your name and stuff, and then I heard, drink for Alex, and I was like, oh shit, that's fast. So I got up, went, and then they're like, oh no, this isn't it. I was like, oh okay, cool. So I sat back down, called again, Alex, got up, wasn't my drink. It was another person's drink. Then I sat back down again, called Alex this time, and I was like, is this mine? And then he's like, yes, this is your drink. This is the first time I've ever seen 3 people named Alex in one place. I was the third Alex.
Oh my God.
That's brilliant.
Oh, that's
Sucks.
so good.
So my dad said that I had to name my kid Alex, and so to Cynthia's credit, where she came in here just now rudely, I didn't fight it initially because I wanted to respect my father's wishes. But now, as I've gotten older, I've realized that is absolutely insane and dumb.
Is he still alive?
So, yes, he is.
Right.
But even then,
what does
I
he
love
think
my
about
dad.
that?
That
he
I won't name my
disappointed?
kid Alex. He still is delusional and thinks I'm still going to name my kid Alex. So he still accepts it. He's like, boy or girl, you got to name Alex.
Is it like a lineage thing?
No, it literally starts with him.
Right.
It's just him.
So it's a lineage thing.
But it's just him. No one else cares. Everyone says it's crazy.
But he wants it to be a lineage.
Sure.
Right?
So what?
Arrogance, hubris.
If there's one thing my dad definitely is, it's arrogant. So yes, you're right.
Okay.
So to kind of put a cap on this, so what I decided and what I thought would actually be pretty cool was naming my kid Axel as a middle name. So it'll be whatever Axel Mendez. And that's what we're gonna roll with. More than likely, if we have a boy. If we have a girl, it's Cynthia's call. She has the name.
Oh, is that how you've done it? You've split it, so you get to name the guy.
Ish.
She gets to name the girl.
My wife has a lot of control. She gets the first name of the boy,
and you get
the middle name. With the girl, I get nothing. I don't get the first name nor the middle name. She gets both of them. That's right. Don't you come. I know. I didn't say I care about naming the girl just a boy. What I'm saying is that I want to have some control, but you chose the name already.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Get her on the mic. Get her on the mic.
They want you on the mic.
No.
Did you choose the name? Come here. You don't have to be on camera. You can just be on the mic. Come. Did you choose the name?
I'm choosing both.
So you're right in saying that I have no choice, even though you just came in here and said that I don't want to name the girl, even though that was what your claim is. I would love to name the girl. Your thoughts?
No, the middle name could be applied to the girl too, not just the boy. Axel can be a woman.
Okay. Why am I? Because you already chose the girl name. We already Lila Beata. That's the name. Okay, never mind then. Axel will be the girl's name then.
Well, no. I think Axel is quite a masculine word. When I think of Axel, I think of car parts.
Yeah. Brent said when he thinks of Axel, he thinks of car parts.
I think of Axl Rose.
Axl Rose. So he's like, it's a very masculine name.
Oh my god! When you said that, I thought of Josh. What Josh just said, I was like, why don't you name her Alexander so she can shoot for herself?
Am I the only one that doesn't have an issue with Cynthia choosing the girl's name?
I don't think it's a problem as long as they both agree on it.
I think it's personal. Yeah, it's person to person, Bren.
Personally, I'm whatever. I don't really.
Yeah.
She could do whatever it is that she wants to do because I support it. I'm
Axel
fine with
is,
it either way. Because I am not smart, so
it's a very American name.
I think what I would do is maybe make it like Alexa or something like that.
Oh,
Right.
but do you
Or
Alexa when Amazon's thing is also
It'll
called
be
Alexa?
her middle name. We're never gonna call her that. It's not gonna like my freaking family that calls me Andrew, even though my freaking name is Alex.
Yeah,
we're never gonna do that to my
like
kid.
my middle name is Reese. But
Dude, that's so badass.
Reese.
Brennan
and
Reese Hook.
So it's
That's
I've
so
actually
sick.
got I'm Irish, Welsh, and English. So, but the main mix of me is Irish and Welsh. So my first name is Irish, my middle name is Welsh. The Welsh spelling of Reese is Rhys,
Yeah.
and the last name is Hook, which is just very English.
Josh is writing in our document, Alex Mendez the third, the last of his
So-
name.
Yeah, dude, that's the title this
we
week.
should wrap up,
That's
but
the
I have
title.
one more question. Okay, when you said that your dad wanted you to continue the lineage,
Oh, here we go.
yeah. So realistically, okay,
Uh-huh.
is for every kid you add a suffix to, so like second, third, fourth, fifth, does it get incrementally cooler, like sort of like a kill streak in Call of Duty, or is there like the best number and then you're like it's over? Because I think the third is like almost like as good as it gets. Like after the third,
Yeah.
it's like
I don't know. See,
like
I
the
think it's
third,
like the
it doesn't,
third
like the fourth
and
is
the
like
eighth.
it's kind of weird.
The
Fifth,
third and the eighth. Sounds
like
pretty cool.
Yeah, I
it's
would
like
counter with
you kind of left behind.
Henry VIII is
your mic is
badass.
muted, Josh.
Your mic is muted, Josh.
Oh shit! Henry VIII is badass. Louis the 16th. You've had too many Louis. Stop naming your kings Louis, France. But
I think
Henry
eight
VIII
a
is
little
pretty.
much.
Really, I
Can't
think
you
that's
do,
kind of boss.
Can't you do like Louis the XVI?
Well, yeah,
No,
yeah.
because
that's
that's
six.
not.
That's
Oh.
what they do. Yeah, that's what they do for Louis the
Yeah,
16th.
but can't you just
yeah.
do
But when you
Louis,
say the person's
what you
name
just
is
say?
Louis XVI.
Louis the XVI.
No, but I'm saying is, if you went to a bar in this day and age, you'd think that guy was a cunt.
Yeah, I mean, you would anyway if you wandered up and said, "Hello, my name is Alex Andrew Mendez III." Please,
Yeah, you sound like a dick no matter
I
what.
wouldn't if Alex was dressed up in tweed.
Oh,
Then
dude.
I would just think you're a character.
Yeah,
And
If I
would-
wore tweed, I would only go by Alexander Mendez III.
Yes,
if I
and you
wore
also
tweed.
need to go pheasant hunting on the weekends.
Yes, pheasant hunting, and then
with Jeremy
having some-
Botsworth, your good old friend,
and
from-
Charles
and
Badger
my friend
from
Charlie.
college.
your friend Charles
God.
Badger, Charles Badger.
Charles Badger.
He doesn't
but
like
of course,
he doesn't like the name Charlie.
he's not a fan.
Yeah, it's not. A
Oh
fan,
Lord,
Charlie.
what have we descended onto?
Good
All right, you know what? How long? What are we running with right now?
We're at an hour 10 now, so this Warzone discussion that we wanted to talk about, I'll have to wait until next episode.
Yeah, we need to play it anyway.
Have you?
Yeah, you guys need to play.
Have you got a wholesome story of the day for us, Johnny?
Yeah.
Oh,
We need some wholesomeness. Oh, by the way, our Valorant video, our Valorant episode, did 12,000 views on YouTube, and we've officially crossed
What?
7,000 subscribers.
oh, awesome.
Really?
Here we go.
All we had to
Ring
do was
that
just
bell.
put Valorant in the title,
Well, there you go.
Holy
and also
sugar.
you put
go.
Valorant in all caps.
So that's why League of Legends promoted it.
Should have did that the whole time.
Okay, is this your wholesome story, Jonathan?
I think so. I don't know. I found a Reddit post while I was browsing for other stuff. It's kind of wholesome, isn't it?
Do you want to introduce it then?
No, you do it.
It's your story.
You're the wholesome.
You're
one.
the doctor.
Okay. Jonathan has pasted a link that is a BBC article that says second patient cured of HIV, say
Whoa.
doctors. And I remember reading a lot about the first patient that was cured of HIV, but I'm not sure whether it was done the same way. Yeah,
No, it was actually stem cell treatment he received for a cancer he also had.
But I think that was also the way that the first person was cured.
Stem
Yeah,
cell?
3.5. So in 2011, Timothy Brown became the first person reported as cured of HIV, 3.5 years after having received similar treatment. So it seems like in some people,
Wow.
this treatment
Right.
also causes them
Yeah.
to be protected
It
against
says
HIV.
stem cell transplants appear to stop the virus being able to replicate inside the body by replacing the patient's own immune cells with donor ones that resist HIV infection. That is wild. You know, I used to work with people who had HIV/AIDS as a social worker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you know, actually, this is a wholesome. Obviously, it's sad, but it is a wholesome story. So a lot of my clients that I worked with, they, you know, unfortunately, a lot of them got it through drug transfusion, like through needles and not transfusions. There was only one, but that's the one I'm going to talk about. But a lot of them got it through needle sharing, sex, and I forgot the other way, but it was really disheartening. It was like tough work, and I was a kid at the time, and it was hard working this job. But the one client that I had, his name was Miguel. Never forget the name. He was, unfortunately, he got it through a blood transfusion in the 80s.
Oh, fuck.
that's
Because
bad.
he had what are they, hemophilia, or when you have the when if you bleed and like it'll like, practically kill you, right? Hemophilia, I think is what it's called. So unfortunately, he needed a blood transfusion, and he got it. And turns out that the person who donated the blood was HIV positive, so he contracted the disease. This man, though, even while he had this disease, never once ever let him bring him down. He was always smiling. He was always nice. He partied. He lived his life to the fullest. And if I'm correct, he's still alive to this day. Older, obviously, way older now, but he has done a great job of just never letting the disease own him.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that was always something that I remember when I met him, it like gave me renewed perspective in life. Because here's this man who had basically a clock, you know, like a time bomb in his body, and never once ever let him bother him. He took care of himself. He took his pills. He did everything he needed to do. And and he lived a very full and happy life.
You know, the medication for HIV is so effective that your quality of life with HIV, assuming you adhere to the proper meds and it's a kind of average experience with it, your quality of life is supposed to be better than if you have diabetes.
Wow.
Because diabetes is harder to manage and has more problems when you're on the medication than HIV does. And that's
crazy.
It's interesting also when you look further down this article as well, where it says that they believe that this is effectively a cure for HIV, because the previous Berlin patient in 2011, they've now replicated it, and they think that this would be a way of curing it. But because the therapy is so aggressive, and it's only really designed to treat cancers, and it's like when you treat a cancer, you're treating something that will kill somebody, so you have to go through, like, you feel justified in giving them some fucked up medication that's going to make them feel really terrible because you're curing them from dying, right?
Something that is, that'll kill you.
But with HIV, because you're able to manage it so effectively and stop it progressing to full-on AIDS, then they're just not going to use this treatment because it would be worse than just the current medication. So the reason that this is interesting, though, particularly, is that because the donor cells are resistant to HIV, there's the potential that they might be able to do the same kind of thing, but without such aggressive stem cell therapy, using gene therapy in the future. So it gives them like an idea of what to look for with different types of like curative procedures.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's good, I guess.
That's wholesome, bro. That's it. Way to go, Johnny.
Can I give by the way, before we leave, I want to give a shout out to Maj-Lis Lebelski for leaving a pesto recipe in Swedish in the comment section of that.
There you go.
Thank you.
In Swedish as well.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Oh God.
Thank you.
Nice.
And then one of the
it has garlic in it, Josh.
And one of the comments also was C's Foreheads podcast YouTube video up. Nice. Maybe they'll talk about some esports, some Overwatch, some internet/game related things. 20 minutes in, I learned a lot about dogs today. And it ain't going to get any better there, buddy. All right, folks. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Yeah, this was a good one. We talked about surnames. We talked about Valorant. We talked about HIV. We talked about a lot of things.
Can't really remember much else, honestly.
I know. Yeah. Bren, you had a really... Oh, yeah. Wait. What was the other thing we talked about? Oh, Run the Jewels?
Oh, yeah. Right.
And crowds. We talked about different crowds.
Yeah.
Anyway, as usual, though, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you give us a follow, subscribe, check us out on YouTube. We're now over 7,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit 10,000 subscribers one day. That'd be pretty cool. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Maybe we'll read your review in the next episode. And also, just want to give a reminder to everyone, stay safe out there. Make sure you sanitize. Make sure you always wash your hands. And don't go shaking hands with strangers. That is going to do it. I guess that should have been like kind of obvious, but whatever. 2020. So that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Later.